time to get geeked up.
In that same kind of vein, there's another movie which wasn't really a teaser trailer or a trailer, but just kind of gave you the giant cast and character announcement. Is the new The Suicide Squad movie, which
Suicide
is
Squad 2.
No, absolutely not, because this one is called The Suicide Squad, and this one is interesting for a lot of reasons.
So this is a very Rambo 4. Or Rambo. Rambo 6 was somehow just called Rambo, and Rambo 1 is somehow...
Well, there's news on it, because let's not forget, David Ayer directed the first Suicide Squad, and he kind of had that same complaint that Zack Snyder did, where it was like, dude, the studio got involved and, like, fucking chopped the movie up that, like, I was trying to make. There's a real version out. But having said that, like, one of the big complaints was, like, so much Joker stuff got cut out of the first one.
Yeah, because we really need a lot more Joker in the world.
Yeah, for better or worse, I say. But they replaced the director for this one, and the new director for this and writer is James Gunn, who is the guy that directed the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh, nice.
And the reason he's doing this is if you remember that a couple years ago, maybe it was shortly after the second Guardians of the Galaxy. But he kind of got canceled from, like, old tweets they found, which were, like, bad but not that bad. They were just, like, dark humor. Like, he had some joke about, like, I don't know. There was, like, some pedophile joke in there. They were just dark humor.
Interesting. I don't remember
bad
this
but not
story.
that bad. But Marvel fired him. Marvel and Disney was like, all right, dude, like, you're fired. You're not going to direct any more Guardians of the Galaxy movies here. The cast of Guardians of the Galaxy really went up in arms about it, where it's just like, dude, fucking bring them back. Like, a lot of people online, too, didn't really, like, support the decision. So much so that since then, Disney has brought them back on. It was like, all right, you're back. You can direct the third Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, you wrote all three of these movies. But in that meantime, when Disney fired James Gunn, DC fucking saw a golden opportunity, and they're like, yo, dude, you want to make a Suicide Squad movie?
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because the Guardians are amongst my faves of the Marvel franchise. I love those movies.
For sure.
However, Suicide Squad is probably the bottom of the barrel for DC, on the other hand. So,
well, exactly. So that's why I'm actually kind of interested in seeing this, because also there is a reason I didn't want to call it Suicide Squad 2 is because it's at first they were saying it's kind of a reboot of the first movie, but then since there's returning characters from the first one, it's not really a reboot, but they're saying it's not really
a reboot of fucking 2 years after.
They're also saying it's not a sequel, though. James Gunn has been quoting as saying the movie is what it is, which is a very James Gunn-esque approach to the idea of it. But it's insane. If you watch the trailer for the cast list, there's like 30 people, which means that, like, and they've also kind of said too, like, how many of those characters you're going to think are going to get killed off in the movie. There's like the Weasel and Polka Dot Man, and
nice.
also these hilarious things,
kicking everybody's ass. Now, is Batman? Are we going to finally get a Batman in a Suicide Squad movie? Or
we'll see. I doubt it, but I will say this: so the movie, the returning cast is Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Jai Courtney, and Viola Davis. Right? They're the new people. Will Smith isn't coming back. Idris Elba is replacing him instead. With also, just to give
major upgrade there from
but he's not playing Deadshot. He's playing a different character.
Okay,
but just to give you some of the other people,
he already kind of has that eye, but
the Stringer Bell eye. But just kind of give you just a small sample of literally like all of the actors who like were announced in the character announcement, and some of the characters are hilarious. But just to name a few, dude. Taiki Waititi is playing a character. Pete Davidson, Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, John Cena, and Sean Gunn. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And the trailer too. Was
epic
also,
cast. So hopefully they don't get killed off. Although
I think every one of them are going to, besides Idris Elba or Idris. You know what I mean? Because
I'm smelling a John Cena franchise here for his Suicide Squad character.
I think Cena's going to get killed off pretty quick, dude. You know what I mean? It's I think a lot of them are. I think that's the reason they announced like 30 characters to be in the movie, because I think immediately like a ton of them are just going to get blown up and hilarious. Kind of like in the second Deadpool movie where there was just like this invisible man kind of character on Deadpool's team for like real quick. And then there's a scene where they all jump out of the plane and like all the side characters die, but the Invisible Man gets like electrocuted and it's Brad Pitt. You know, like just no line, like literally like a 5-second cameo. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff like that, where it's like John Cena's gonna be like, "I'm this guy, dead." But
well, I'm down.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if you put enough of them, I'm ready to watch.
But who doesn't like a good Harley Quinn movie?
Well, I mean, I hated the first one so much, I'd almost want to see him try again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think James Gunn's going to definitely bring a better movie to what we're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. We'll see. I'm excited for James Gunn gives me hope, I suppose, other than that. And, I mean, Margot Robbie, I did call that was going to be the beginning of the end for her because she's been really nothing but gold and amazing in pretty much every movie she's been in. She's an amazing actress, so it's... you know, it was kind of, but it was such a bad movie, and I just don't like the real concept. I feel that they're just trying too hard to stay in the Batman world, as we'll maybe get into a little bit, but they're trying so hard to stay in the Batman world that they can't give you Batman every time, so now we have to have Batman without Batman, and it's just, you know...
Correct. But yeah, man, that's correct. And I guess, kind of like you're saying, Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie would probably, I guess, be like the main star, too, of the Suicide Squad movies. I guess another big trailer that came out, an actual full trailer, and it was the latest, sticking with the female leads, but the latest, I think, last trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 came out, which is the sequel to Wonder Woman, which was... Again, a huge hit for DC when it came out. I think the Wonder Woman was like, I think their first like
biggest
big hit,
like
for sure, absolutely.
And definitely like what's regarded as the best quality was like a real, big commercial success and beyond expectations and all. Really kept that franchise, alive in some ways. It really just saved credibility for them when that came out. And now it feels like I'm a little surprised they didn't fast track it at all. You know what I mean? Because 3 years later, it feels like maybe some of the buzz has died down, and now it's
I think they've also got some COVID delays too.
Okay, that's true as well, probably. But it'll be interesting to see. It's like, will the buzz from the first one, will the momentum from the first one carry over, or will they kind of have to like strike lightning twice in some regards for this one to be
much like the trailer where she's swinging from lightning bolt to lightning bolt?
Yeah, that's true. The trailer does look sick, actually. That fucking golden lasso is getting used to perfection.
I can't get because it's directed again by Patty Jenkins, but I can't fucking wrap my head around Kristen Wiig being the bad guy.
Great call. I should have said the golden lasso looked sick because if I can show you my notes, the biggest thing in my about this movie. But yeah, that's a real major spot for Kristen Wiig. This is like real movie star shit to be in a fucking one of these action hero, crazy movies. This is much different than a goofy SNL character. And me and you are Kristen Wiig fans, comedy fans. We would love to support a comedian in this opportunity, but for this being such an important movie for the franchise, it's just really a major spot.
It's crazy, and
she looks terrible in it. Like it just looks like
for sure.
her slumping around. It's just not pulling it off. You know what I mean? Like
I think she's very funny. And
yes, me too.
But like her as like a human cat at the end, like that's her as like that big tiger cat lady at the end, and it's like, dude, how can I not picture her like playing that as some like goofy SNL character? Like, oh, you got a bowl of milk? Oh, thanks.
100%.
It's just fucking wild to me.
You really need like a But we just gave you our Ladies of Action. Consult Geek Pods on YouTube for our 80s of action look. But any one of the chicks, Michelle Rodriguez isn't available, or Mila Jovovich, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get...
what are you fucking Charlize Theron? Number one.
Yes, I mean, that would be... But, definitely, that's a real dangerous aspect of the movie, I'd say. But,
it is. And it just kind of looks hokey, dude, where, like, it has that same trope where, like, it does the trailer ends on, like, some hokey joke with Chris Pine being like, is everybody in the 80s into parachuting? It fucking looks You know, I
and
think
another
it's also kinda
confusing
dumb.
sequel title, Wonder Woman 1984. Like, what is this? Is this, you know, a prequel? Is this the last?
Well,
one?
yeah, because the first one took place during World War One.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like seeing
So
Wonder
it's a progression
Woman
in
throughout
time,
the
but when you
years.
see a movie title in 2020, even though I know that the first one was, you know, in the other era, when you see a title in 2020 where the movie is dated earlier, you think that it's probably a prequel, you know what I mean? Even though the first one was even
some
older than
aspects it
84.
is.
But
you know, to her appearances on like the Justice League and everything. But it's also weird too that they would bring Chris Pine back, who died in the first one. I know there's gonna be like some wacky way they do it, but
yeah.
You know, like you said, I think the biggest thing I thought was like pretty dope in the trailer was her like swinging from lightning bolt to lightning bolt. But then it even kind of ends with her wearing like that big goofy gold angel looking
the gold costume. Can we just
It's
stick
like, what
with
is
the
this?
one costume that we all know? Just fucking every DC movie, a black Superman suit, a fucking, you know. Can we just like stick with the costumes that we fucking have, for God's sakes?
No, that's
absolutely. You're right, though. And again, another one of my fears, like I mentioned, you know, not only with Kristen Wiig, but like I mentioned, I do kind of fear that, you know, a lot of there might not be a huge carryover. There's been a lot of DC movies, a lot of regular, you know, a lot of movies in general. A lot of shit has happened in the world since the first Wonder Woman caught everybody by surprise. Like, I feel when Black Panther 2 comes out, there will definitely kickstart the momentum of excitement for it. I'm not sure if Wonder Woman 84 is going to have the same effect, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I'm with you on that one. I think this one might be a flopper. But you never know. You're
That's
right.
what we felt about the first one, though. We can definitely play you us on the podcast making fun of the concept of the first one being a success. So.
Yeah, oh boy. I'm starting to pick up a pattern here.
Ooh, baby, it's time to get geeked up.